Hey, what's up, you guys? Matt Thibeau here with Savant Marketing Agency and author of Digital Marketing Secrets for Contractors. You can get this book on Amazon. In today's video, we're going to talk about the number one biggest lie that you've been told as a contractor. But first, I want to ask you a couple of questions. Do you sometimes struggle to get leads into your business? Do you sometimes struggle to be able to charge what you're worth? Do you sometimes struggle to be able to land the type of jobs that you want to land? Maybe you feel like you've been in business for a long time and you deserve to be able to get paid more or do the types of jobs that you want to do. Maybe you feel like you've been in business for a while and you're struggling to grow your team and you're just wondering like, hey, I'm really good at what I do and I do right by people. You know, our clients are happy. But for whatever reason, I'm just not seeing success. And maybe you're frustrated and you're wondering, why is this, right? Like, I'm good at what I do, all these things, but I'm just not seeing the success from my efforts, right? And so if you're asking yourself that question, keep watching this video because I think I'm going to share with you something that not a lot of contractors know, unfortunately. And the biggest lie earlier that I mentioned to you, we're going to dive into what exactly that is. So there's an old adage for contractors that basically goes something along the lines of this. Hey, if you want to be successful, all you have to do is do good work and work really hard and do right by your customers and your business will grow and you'll be ultra successful, right? I'm sure you've heard that. I've heard that. It's something that, you know, it sounds like good advice and I think that it would make sense for most people. But here is where there's a flaw in that kind of thinking. Most people who say that kind of thing, and what I mean by it is saying it exclusively, right? Usually they either have a very small business, maybe it's just them, or they have a couple people working with them, or they haven't been in business for very long and stand the test of time, right? And so what I'm getting at here is that I think a lot of contractors believe that, hey, I don't need to do marketing, I don't need to do advertising, I don't need to do any of this kind of stuff. I'm just going to do really good work and word's going to spread and, everything's going to be great. But the reality is that living by that philosophy is putting yourself at risk because most contractors, to be able to get to the point of like really growing a company, we're talking millions of dollars, or really building in like a solid team that you can get off the tools and eventually sell this business, right? Because if you're working on the tools, that's not a business, that is a job that you're creating for yourself, especially if you're a one-man show. And so if you're trying to really grow your business, then you need to have what I call attention to your business, right? You need to have attention. And whether that's through doing great work, which is very difficult to do, to be honest, to get enough attention to your business by doing just great work alone, you have to be like a top level dude, right? Like your stuff needs to be incredible. Everyone in your city knows about you. Everyone's talking about you. Like you need to be very good at what you're doing to be able to achieve that, right? And so not only do you have to be really good at what you're doing, but then the service has to be like good for like the customer, right? So not only the product has to be very good, but then like the customer service has to be amazing too. So if you're going to rely completely on word of mouth and draw attention that way, then basically everything about your business has to be like A game, right? Like very, very good. And let's be honest, like you might be able to keep that up for a little bit, but sooner or later you're going to drop some balls here and there. It's going to be very difficult to be able to upkeep that level of service and quality, especially as you start getting out of the business and hiring people, right? And so this is where attention comes into place. Attention is so much easier to be able to send to your business than to have just only word of mouth and rely on the goodwill of people to refer you, right? And so the big contractor lie is that you don't need any marketing, you don't need any advertising, you don't need any of that stuff. You can just do a good job and work will come your way. Well, here's the thing is like, what kind of work is going to come your way, right? Is it going to be the work that's profitable that you like? And is it going to be enough work for you? What happens if something happens to the economy What happens if there's some kind of family scandal or something, and then, you know, your personal name is maybe on the line or something? Like, do you want your business to be affected by that, right? And so economic issues, like all sorts of stuff. There are so many things that are standing in the way of you growing your business. And by only relying on word of mouth, you're putting yourself in a very precarious situation to be able to grow, right? And so the message that I want to give you today is to commit to getting attention to your business. Now, as long as it's ethical, moral, that is great. You don't want to be doing anything bad to be able to get attention to your business, right? But you do want to get attention to your business. When we look at, you know, famous people, for example, right? How many young girls are trying to be like famous singers, celebrities, right? Practicing all day, singing all day, and all their talents and stuff. And for whatever reason, they just can't get signed to a label or get famous for singing, right? And then there's this Cash Me Outside girl, right? Bad Baby, if you Google her. And it's like she had one episode on Dr. Phil where she got all the attention sent to her, right? And then she turns that into a music career, and now she's a millionaire, right? Now, I'm not saying that you have to go out on Dr. Phil and act ridiculous and all this stuff. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that what she was able to do was because of having the right amount of attention to what she is offering, right? And she's able to turn that into a successful venture. Look at Dr. Phil, for example, right? Do you think that he is like the very best psychologist in the world? No. I'm sure that there are lots of people who are a lot better at what he does than him. But because he had the attention put on him because of Oprah, he was a guest on their show, that catapulted him to a successful position, have enough attention to have his own show and go on to make multiple millions and do all the stuff he's doing now, right? So what does this all mean for you? Well, what it means is that instead of focusing on just being like the very best at what you do, instead of focusing on, you know, only your customer service, instead of focusing on all this stuff, that's all great. That's what you should be doing. But instead of just focusing on that, if you put some attention towards attention onto your brand, then couple that with all the other great things I mentioned, like doing a good job, being amazing at what you do, blah, 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 that is going to really catapult you into another level into your business. And this is what most contractors will forget, is they'll think that, hey, if I'm just really good at what I do, then I'll become successful. But how many contractors are there who are extremely talented at what they do and they're working for a GC, right? They don't have their own show. They're not the one who's taking home like the big paycheck, right? They're the ones who are being paid by a GC because they are not able to get enough clients themselves to be able to grow their own team and build their own empire, right? And so I want to leave you with that today, is asking yourself, how can I get more attention to my business so that I can attract the type of jobs that I want, the type of leads I want, so that I can build the team that I need, so that I can actually start building my dream as well, right? So I hope you found this video helpful. If you enjoyed it, comment below, give it a thumbs up. I'd really appreciate it. And I'll see you guys on the next one.